Hello, I am Greg Price, and we are live at the River Road Farmstead Kitchen, 1657 River Road, home of the Grub Shed Neighborhood Farm and Community Garden. And I'm the manager there, and I also like to cook. And now that we have this great new commercial kitchen here in our space, we get to do fun stuff like this, do live chats and little informational videos to help people along in their local food endeavors. So today, what I want to talk about real quickly is just alliums, and especially if you have some stored, meaning mostly onions and garlic. They keep for a very long time here, and if you want, you can collect them in the fall and keep them all winter long. It's a great way to have local food year round. And onions and garlic are fairly easy to keep. They need cool, dark space with basically no light coming in, and roughly below 50 degrees. Usually works pretty well. And so these are some various, I brought some alliums here to check out. And first we'll start with some garlic. So, commonly you hear that hardneck and softneck garlics, that one of the big differences is how long they'll keep for. And I haven't really found it to be true. And so I've been keeping food for about 20 years. And consistently my hardneck and my softneck garlic last about the same amount of time. But it varies from bulb to bulb. Individually you don't know the whole life story and such. So this is some hardneck stuff. I've been growing the variety here for about 10 years. And it's nice and solid still. It's hardneck. It's in really good shape. No problem. Can still keep that one in storage. This one is a softneck variety that I've been growing for about 18 years here. This one is softer than the hardneck one, so not really holding up quite as well. It's starting to dehydrate a little bit. I'm just pushing on it a bit. And then this also is a softneck, and you can see there are some sprouts coming out of this one. So one of the reasons we're going to talk about garlic today is because there's a really cool thing you can do with it to preserve your garlic at the end of the year. So once you end up with sprouting garlic, or it starts to get really soft, what I like to do is I'll go through my garlic, which I just did recently, and I picked out some of these, and I'll do it again in about a month when they start going even more. And to further preserve it, what I'm going to do here is simply pop the garlic out of its skins, run it through a food processor of some sort, which we have two choices today for those. Food processors are great for all kinds of things. This is a miniature one called an immersion blender. Lots of people have probably seen these. This is probably what I use most often. The immersion blender piece. You can actually, you see the blade there. It spins. You just stick it down into soups. You can blend up dressings. You can blend up soups. All kinds of stuff. Anything you want blended up, you can blend up with this thing. The main thing is though, follow the key word here is immersion. You want it immersed in whatever it is, because otherwise it throws liquid all over the place if you pull it out a little bit. Anyway, so that's one little attachment there. But today, what we're going to use is this. And this is basically a mini Cuisinart, and this comes with it. Cuisinart, of course, is the brand name. Mini food processor, really. And you hit the button, and it just operates like a little mini food processor. So you stick the garlic. I'm not going to do all this garlic now because this will take a while. But I'm going to just show you the basic stages of what you're going to do. So once you get your garlic apart, I always find the easiest way to get into garlic. Everybody's got their different opinions about kitchen gadgets and things like that, and I tend to be on the simple side. I like to use multiple things one thing for multiple tasks, so I don't tend to get too wound up with gadgets. I don't have garlic presses and all that kind of stuff. Just pop it. It's the easiest way to come off. And you hear a lot about, how laborious it is to peel softneck garlic. Does that look real laborious? I don't think so. So, again, differences, opinions, preferences, that's all it really is. But when I hear people act like it's some big task, I just kind of laugh, because I don't think there's anything to it. This is a softneck garlic. Peels are coming off fine. It's not taking a lot of time. You know, I could go through this. So, once you have some garlic peeled off, you can just chop off those hard woody ends or not. Once you blend it up, you're not even gonna know they're there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But you can see it's starting, this is that green garlic. Nothing wrong with that green, it's just an early sprout, that's all. That's what's gonna become, or what would become in the ground, your new garlic sprouts. That's what it's gonna start doing in the ground as well, and that's where your green shoot would come out and grow your new head for this year. You know, you would plant each one of these individually and boom, each individual one would become a whole new head. So, perfectly fine to eat the green garlic. You know, into the food processor it would go. I'd take as many of these as I could, and I'd put them in there. And I like to just do it dry at this point, and then I would add them to my jar of olive oil. So you blend them up in here, and then you just put them in the jar, fill your jar with olive oil all the way to the top, put it in the refrigerator, and it'll last for months like that. And you can just scoop it out with a spoon whenever you need it. It's actually super convenient, and when I've shared this with other people, they just start doing it anyway, even before their garlic goes bad, or starts to soften rather, just because it's a convenient way to use garlic. You can spend, you know, half an hour doing pounds of garlic and have it all ready to go for the winter. Stick it in your refrigerator, the oil will coagulate around it, scoops out real nicely with a spoon, tap it into your pan, boom, you have instant olive oil and garlic to start whatever meal you are cooking. And garlic and olive oil are a good way to start so many meals. So I always like to emphasize how easy that is to do. You know, if you just spend less than an hour, you can have garlic for months, right at your, you know, right at a spoon's reach. Okay, if you were to do bigger batches and other batches, you know, and other types of, you know, soups and things like that, you know, I recommend using a larger food processor. This is a new kind of commercial version. There's all kinds of different sizes, but you can see the different capacity. You know, if you were making a whole bunch and you wanted to just do it all in one shot, you could do it all in one shot in a larger capacity food processor. Or if you were like blending up a soup, making salsa, tomato sauces, things like that, that's what you want to use for sure. But for single batch stuff, like as the summer's going along and you just get those first fresh veggies, you can make up a salsa fresca in 5 minutes with this baby. You know, you just throw a few tomatoes in there, some peppers, garlic, onion, and tap it a few times. You know, just boom, 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 and then pulse it, and you've got instant salsa, just like that. Fresh, right at your fingertips. Okay, so quickly, we're gonna go through just some onion stuff. This is obviously a bad onion. This is mushy and soft, and it's gonna go in the compost, okay? Super easy to tell that. This yellow onion is a really nice hard onion still. It's in great shape. It can stay in storage, no problem. This one is kind of an in-between onion. I'm not sure what I'm gonna find in these. This one also. So these are all a little bit soft, and you can see this one's doing just like what the garlic was doing. It's responding to its wintertime rest with a new sprout, because that's how onions produce seeds. In the second year, they would sprout up a new head. So, and turn it into seeds. So now looking at these onions, you never know for sure what you're gonna find when you get into a soft onion. So, what I found is most of it is quite fine to eat. There's a little bit of green in there, again, not gonna hurt you. The soft layers are very forgiving as they protect the internal layers. So I'm gonna take these softer layers off. The rest of it's fine. It's not an onion that you would eat raw, but perfectly fine to cook with. And you can take one more off of that one, you know, and like that. And then boom, you got, you know, onion ready to saute. From the outside, lots of people would have felt how soft it was and just thrown it out. It is perfectly fine. There's a little bit of woodiness in the bottom of where the stem would be, and I'm taking that out too. But otherwise, you have onion that's perfectly good to cook with. Like I said, I wouldn't eat it raw. Just for curiosity, we'll just cut these other ones up, because you just never know. Sometimes you know when they're really, really soft. But this is kind of in an in-between stage. So this one has a little more soft on the outside, but still the internal part is just fine. And cut it open. There's barely even any green in that one, and that one had a sprout sticking out of it. So again, cut that up and ready for the saute pan. Okay, this one, same kind of thing. See if we can go 3 for 3. Or this one's the most suspect one. This one's the softest one. And I'd say that's a no-go. So look inside there. Doesn't smell that bad at this point or anything like that, but obviously you can see it's not doing too well. No need to mess with it any further. Gonna throw that one out. But, so, 2 out of the 3 onions though that were soft and making me cry now, were still usable. Okay. Now the other thing I would do when you're going through your onions, one of the reasons I go through them is A, to pick up on ones that are possibly going bad, but also just to see in general what state they're in. In about a month or so, mid-April to late April, I'll start to move some of my onions into my refrigerator to preserve them until I get onions this summer, fresh out of the field. And that is just, it'll help to preserve them a little bit longer. It'll slow down any greening or any softening. So those are your allium tips for the day. Check your onions, check your garlic, make whatever decisions you need to make around it. Can it stay in storage still? Is it nice and solid like this onion and like this garlic? Or do you need to deal with it now? Chop up your onions and chop up your garlic, put it in some olive oil. Your onions likewise, you could freeze those too. You could chop them up, cook them first. I would just saute them and then freeze them up. So those are your allium tips.